Hey, this is Raulh of Please Act Right, and welcome to episode number 7 of Why I Had to Leave This Beautiful Woman. In the last episode, she was mad at me because a friend of mine called at 12 midnight one time, and she talked to me like she thinks she was talking to her child. So after the umpteenth time of dealing with her nonsense, I decided to move out of the apartment and back to the barracks on base. So this episode is called The Chase. Man, I was living the life of peace and serenity for a week and a half. I moved out on a Monday. She called me at work on that Friday. I told her I needed space. Don't call me, I'll call you. And I had no intentions of calling her anytime soon. It had been almost 2 weeks since I moved back to the base. I got to my room in just enough time to take a shower and call one of the homies to see what they was getting into tonight. While I was talking, someone was at the door. And without hesitation, I went and opened the door, thinking it was one of the guys from the dorm stopping by. To my surprise, it wasn't one of the guys. It was her, Miss Angry all the time. Damn, I forgot she had friends that could get her on base. So why are you mad at me today? I said sarcastically. Nothing. I know you wanted time alone, but I miss you. I miss you too, that nice part of you, not that wicked witch you have living inside your head. If you're looking for me to come back, it's not gonna happen. When I first met you, I thought you was a happy person. Then, after we moved in together, you turned into a totally different person. I'd rather be by myself than to live with somebody who can't be happy. As I ended my speech, I walked over to the door and opened it, hinting for her, it's time to go. Now, if you'll excuse me, my show is about to come on. She turned and walked away, wiping the tears from her face. Honestly, I didn't even care. I closed the door, turned on the TV, and ate my dinner. I didn't see or talk to her again for 2 days. And then she started calling me. She was calling my job and coming to my room every single day. And every time we talked, she promised me that if I came back, she'd never be that angry woman again. And of course, I believed her. After about a week and a half of her hounding and begging me to come back, I decided to stop by the apartment and visit her. Well, I came to see where you stand. I get it. Are you sure? Well, you left me and I didn't like it. I want you to come back. I promise I won't act the way I've been acting. I get it now. All right? I'm not putting up with your nonsense anymore. If you start that crap again, I'm leaving for good. The next day, I moved back in. 3 weeks went by, and everything was good. No bickering, no anger, no living in silence for days on end and not having a clue why. It was like we had just met all over again. Until every third Sunday, I would call home to Chicago to talk to my family and get an update on what was going on. Now, I did this even before she and I moved in together, and she knew it. I paid the phone bill, and I was never late on the payments, nor did she ever have to get on me paying it. Each time, before I would make the phone call, I would ask her if she was planning to do something with us between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. And every time, she would say no. I would generally talk for about 25 to 30 minutes each call, and we never had any problems. As I was about to make the call, she went into our room. I grabbed the phone and I sat on the couch and I called and my father answered, as usual. We had the same general conversation, who did what, who did who got pregnant, and who's in trouble. My father's always been a talker, so I really didn't say much. When I did talk, I knew to watch every word I said. This was to make sure that when I got off the phone, this woman couldn't use anything that I said to start an argument. After about 10 minutes into my phone call, she came into the living room and stared at me while standing in our bedroom doorway. She then went back into the room like she was frustrated about something and closed the door. Whenever she goes into the bedroom before bedtime and closes the door, that means something's wrong. Now, I was talking softly, so I know she wasn't trying to insinuate I was being too loud. 15 minutes later, I concluded my conversation with my father. I went to the bedroom door, turned the knob, only to find this heifer locked the door. Now mind you, this is our bedroom, a door we never lock. Why is this door locked? She didn't answer, but I heard her coming to the door. She opened it with an attitude and rolled her eyes like I was a pest invading her space. What's wrong with you now? Nothing. Then why do you have this door locked and why are you laying across the bed fully clothed before 9 o'clock? She didn't say anything. She just laid there with her head facing away from me. I went into the bathroom, and as I washed my hands, I looked at myself in the mirror. Now I know she's not about to start this mess again. I went back into the kitchen, popped me some Jiffy popcorn, and watched TV until about 10:30 p.m. Finally, when I went to get into bed, she was already under the covers with her back to me. I rolled over to kiss her on her side of her neck, and she pushed me away. Here we go again with this mad at me and not telling me crap. Well, 4 days went by, not a word. Thursday came. It was time to go to bed. And just as she laid down and got comfortable, I decided to break my silence because I didn't talk to her the whole 4 days. Why aren't you talking to me? And this is what she responded with. You were on the phone long distance for 35 minutes and you're gonna pay that phone bill too. Now keep in mind, we've been living here for just over a year and she has never paid that phone bill. I always have. That's it? That's why you haven't talked to me in 4 days? First of all, you went into the room and you closed the door with an attitude long before I was on the phone for 35 minutes. Second, I call home every month and talk for the same amount of time. This ain't nothing new. Third, I pay the phone bill. So I don't have to clear with you when I make a long distance phone call or how long I'm on the phone. She didn't say a word. She just laid there with her back to me. So I just went to sleep. Now here's the deal. This was April the 18th, 1991. My last day to be separated from the military was April the 22nd, 1991, which she knew about, which was 4 days away. Is this chick thinking that once I'm out of the military, I have to put up with her nonsense because I have nowhere else to go? Please. After I leave the military, the only 2 reasons for me to stay in Tampa was her and her daughter. And seeing that I had no legal rights to her daughter, I couldn't see her daughter without having to see her. So staying in Tampa would be a waste of my time. So once again, she's mad at me over something stupid. If it happens again, well, I signed out of the military on April the 22nd, and the very next day, she was at it full steam ahead on April the 23rd. Stay tuned for next week's final episode of Why I Had to Leave This Beautiful Woman to see what she did and then got mad at me that made me finally leave her for good. Also, her daughter, who is now 39 years old, we found each other on Facebook a couple of years ago. You get to hear what her daughter told me happened after I left and what her mother's relationships were like with the few guys after me. So stay tuned for the final episode next week I call The Cigarette. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next week. My name is Raulh. So if you enjoyed this video, check out one of these 2 videos right here. I'm sure you'll enjoy them too. And if you like, you can visit my channel. I have plenty of videos there. Go ahead. Don't be scared.